you have a lot vying for your time. Why have you chosen to dedicate so much of it to the Lead Generation Email Committee?
The Lead Generation Email Committee within the IAB is one of the committees in which I was able to dive in really quickly and offer some value based on what I've been providing to the industry itself over the years. But the best practices that we've been developing within the Email Lead Gen Committee this past season specifically call upon terms and conditions that relate back to contracts that are and relationship materials between advertisers and publishers.
So I know that you're working on an addendum to the T's and C's?
Yes, the original T's and C's that were put together to lay out best practices for media specifically spoke to display. So within the Email Lead Gen Committee, we wanted to take advantage of those very same terms and conditions, but we needed to introduce certain nuances so they spoke to the medium.
I see. Can you talk to what any of those nuances are?
In terms of the ad format, some of the formats, in fact all of the formats in email are different than those of display. So the language on the original T's and C's spoke to display as a medium, and we needed to adjust those to speak to the needs of the email advertisers.
Some about your company. How does Datran Media define itself in the context of the data-driven marketplace?
So first of all, we speak about audiences rather than data,
Okay.
and I think that's a really important thing to lead with. Datran Media is 10 years old, and we help both publishers and brand advertisers to engage with consumers across digital channels, including email, display, social, and mobile.
Can you go into a little bit more about how your company provides value to marketers and then agencies and publishers?
Sure. So we offer solutions that help publishers, agencies, and brand advertisers to leverage analytics about their audiences. You were referring to it as data.
Yeah.
It's really information about their audiences to drive the media plans in the case of advertisers. And for publishers, we're really helping them to use that same type of intelligence to do what publishers have always wanted to do, but more effectively across digital media. That will include leveraging the audience intelligence that they have to target better content to subscribers. Content remains king, and so in that case, the intelligence is used to target better content. In the case of advertisers, again, it's making them able to do what they want to do, which is delight consumers in a more effective way, leveraging what they should know, what their consumers want.
What are some misconceptions people have about data's role in the interactive advertising industry? I know it's been a hot topic in the last 24 hours.
I think back to the point when you're talking about data, it can be a scary or confusing word. I like to talk about the practice of marketing, and as a practitioner that came from the agency side, I think that we're committed to brands and we're committed to consumers. And so data in that sense is not data, it's audience information, and we should always be driving with that audience information to inform choices, but also to empower consumers. And I think that's why it's such a critical year this year. At the IAB Annual Leadership Meeting, we've been focused on two main themes. One of them is the standardization of audience measurement, and I think it will help all of us do our jobs more effectively. And the second one, we're kind of labeling as adherence to the self-regulatory principles. And to me, that's really nothing more than honoring consumer preferences, and that's something that we should all be doing anyways.
That's great. So you've been enjoying yourself? Do you have a favorite speaker so far?
Oh, there's so many great speakers, but I'm sure I'm not alone in saying that the roast of Randy was wonderful, and I'm really glad that we have him back.
Last question. What keeps you up at night that has to do with the industry, and what change or achievement would relieve the concern?
I think that's a really, really great question, and I noticed one of the themes this year at the annual leadership meeting was, can't we all get along? And I may be a little holly-hobbyish. I think that we do all get along, and I think collaboration is so important. So one of the things that I think about is if we think about what we do as practitioners in the same way that artists think about creating art, or great doctors think about solving challenges with their colleagues, it becomes so much less about competition and so much more about the challenges that we're trying to solve. And in our cases, we're not curing cancer, but what we can do for brands in terms of connecting them with consumers and enriching those consumer experiences in the same way that Coke spoke about it today is powerful stuff, and I think we do it better collaboratively than we do on our own.